All right, let's walk and talk. We had an unbelievable Grand Prix last night with Caracole at the Santa Anita Grand Prix World Cup qualifier. We're back home now, so let's talk about it. I have Caracole with me. She's, obviously doing her own thing. But of course, we have a little bit of whiskey. This one is a fun one. I've never seen this bottle before, and when I saw it today, I knew I had to look at it. This is Bullet Rye 12 year. I've said before, I really like Bullet and Bullet Rye because it's good to drink and it's cheap and it's easy to find. And that's a great thing. So this is a 95% rye, or it says Bullet 95 rye, which means 95% of the mash bill is rye. It says small batch, which means nothing. And then it says it's 46% alcohol by volume. Yeah, normal stuff. So, I mean, at 95% rye, it smells like a rye. What do you think, Roly-Poly? That's actually alarmingly good. Wow. Okay, so here in California, I paid $55 for that bottle of 12-year rye, which, was maybe, I would say, in the middle range. But for a 12-year, that's very good. It's got some of the subtle sweetness of an older aged whiskey, some of the spiciness of a rye, but it has this subtle dusty note, which I know sounds bad, but it's not, because it's a note that you get with vintage whiskeys that's really pleasant, really different. It's not just this sweetness bomb. Also, it's not just this crazy rye bomb. Sometimes 95% ryes at like 5 years, they're just in your face. But this is really super. Love that. Yeah, definitely. Really, honey? I love you. You want the camera? Okay. She knows where the camera is. Can't fault her. But this, super. All right. Let's talk about the Grand Prix last night. Look, I'm not gonna hold this off. Caracole was super, double clear. We won the class. Okay. But there's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Okay, so after Greenwich, it wasn't a very good class for us. So I've been focusing on just being smooth. Nice 8, 1 to 2, then sit up around the turn. Got to be efficient, but not too greedy, because if you get backwards to fence 3, that back rail gets very far away. And then the 3, nice 3, little bit to the left, out in 6, so the 6 doesn't get too short. One stride, nice. Then in this turn, it's important to, take your time, but also be efficient. It was a little bit bobbly there. That was an area in the first round I felt I could have done much better. Stay to the right so the 7 isn't too short to this oxer. She really jumped. You can see I got a bit loose. Again, I could have been a bit better there. And then out a bit, nice gap to this vertical to get this 8 to the triple. Nice. A lot of people were having issues with this triple because their approach wasn't right on. It was almost too nice of an approach, so it was hard to get right. I know that sounds weird, but that's the way it is. Nice forward to the triple bar, sit up for the 5 here, left-hand side, so you go out a bit, so the 7 is a bit more normal to the last fence. She was unbelievable. Okay, so going into the class, like I said, I really was trying to focus on smoothness, trying to do everything very crisp. If I needed to go a little bit to the left, out in a line to make the strides ride better, or a little bit in to ride better, I would do it. And I was trying to do it as smoothly and crisply and professionally as possible. Caracole is such a horse that you just ride by instinct. And that's great. And you need to do that. But it's also important to have that stability. And I think sometimes I've relied too much on instinct, and that hasn't always worked. And so last night and this week, I've been really trying to focus on, and in the preparation to this week, focus on that just methodical one step to the next. And she was amazing. You know, there was that one little bobble to the skinny. I think I committed just a hair too early in the turn. And when you commit with her, she leans in like crazy, and you know, you get underneath it before you know. And then, you know, she was just great. She's over there, grazing, sitting in the paddock with her. Okay, so we went last in the order. In the first round, jumping clear, which means we came in last to the jump off, which, you know, is a great advantage being last in a jump off. You get to see everyone go before you. So I watched the first two watching the ring, and then I got on, watched some on the screen. When you watch on a screen, it's never the same as watching in person. But it still helped educated me and my whole team on what were the right strides, what strides were people doing, and how did it work for them. So let's watch the jump off. Okay, so 1 to 2 is a nice 7, not crazy forward. Honestly, there's a 6 there if you're really gunning. So I was a little bit quiet to fence 1 so that the 7 wasn't going to be too steady because I wanted more momentum in this turn. 9 strides with this rollback, really tight, super happy with that. There's potentially an 8 here to this double, but I didn't need to do it, so a nice 9. She flew that double, and then very efficient back. This vertical, very cocked angle is very blind, but, you know, she knows what she's doing. She's amazing. 8 strides back to this double, coming back to the left, 9 strides to this vertical, you know, super fast. And at this point, I felt like I was ahead. So instead of running down the 8, I sat up and did 9 to the end. You know, I wanted to protect, you know, what we already built in the beginning of the course. Okay, so first, Caracole was unbelievable. You know, it's so hard to come up with words to explain how amazing she is. I am not this good. I am not. But with a horse like her, it makes me look like I actually know what I'm doing. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to ride her, for everyone here at Pomponio, and everything that goes into her program. She is just amazing, and I'm so grateful and lucky to be able to be around a mare like that. She's amazing. So coming into the jump off, you know, I'd seen everyone go, and I'd seen the rider who was in the lead before I went go. And so I knew what I had to do. And it was important to be clean and crisp. It doesn't matter, you know, a win is a win. It doesn't matter if you win by 100th of a second or a second, you're still winning. So I knew I had to be very crisp with my lines. I didn't need to break a land speed record. I just needed to not get ahead of myself. And that's almost harder. If you have to really sling it out there and give everything you have, that's almost easier than riding a little bit more smart. So, you know, nice 7, 1 to 2, quick roll back to the oxer. I could, you know, gain some time there, lose a bit in the 9 because she has such a great stride. And then after the combination, you know, that was where starting the turns is where we were going to gain our time. We gained it to the vertical after the combination, the 8 stride to the oxer after that, which no one else did, the 9 stride after the oxer to the vertical, which no one else did. And then most people did 9 to the last fence. The rider in second did 8, but he was a bit slower in other areas. I felt at that moment, as I said, when I was jumping the second to last, I felt and also hoped my feeling was correct that I was ahead. So instead of take the risk and do 8, I said, you know what? If I am ahead, it's smarter to do 9. So I sat up and did 9. I saw 8. 8 was in my eye, as was 9. But I made the choice to do the safer option, which was, you know, in the end, the right choice. I still was faster, still won the class. And that was, you know, that's almost harder to have that restraint because it's, like I said, it's almost easier to just go balls to the wall and just run it down. But having that restraint to know when you're ahead and just stay the course. Don't get greedy. And it worked. I'm so in awe of Caracole. I'm watching her graze right now. She's behind a little fence. Yeah, she's just amazing. And after the games, we had a little bit of time off, and then we had 2 shows in September, and culminating in a 5-star in Greenwich in Connecticut, and that class didn't go well. We had a little miscommunication at triple combination, and we circled, took offense, and came out. And then after that, trying to bounce back from that, we did a National Grand Prix in Thermal. She was double clear. She won that. She was amazing. And then coming into this week, back up in level, I didn't know, but she was amazing this week. She just handled perfectly. It was so easy. Not easy. No, that's the wrong word. We've been working on that just steady ride and smoothness, crisp, everything running to plan, accurate walk, accurate ride, accurate warm up, and it all worked out. And now she has 2 weeks off. In a week and a half, she flies to Geneva, and I've never been to Geneva, and I've always wanted to go. It's the pinnacle of indoor sport. It's just unbelievable. I've watched it so many times, and I can't wait to go. But after last night, I feel ready. She feels ready, and yeah, let's go do it.